Yeah, I think that question was for you. So
Okay.
I heard something about a special bonus.
Yeah,
If
we
you
can
could show
definitely
us.
sneak it in. So, there is a fun little extra mode in the movie game, which is absolutely absurd. It actually makes the game harder to play, which I think is just wonderful, but it's real hilarious. So in the sequel, once you beat the game, or if you enter the special code, you get access to extra options, which has large size. The sequel is primarily played with the White Ranger, because his DPS is honestly absolutely absurd. And we'll make it nice and easy because the AI does actually get really mean on this one. So, here we go. Keep in mind the sprites should normally be the same size as they are on the other one.
I am really surprised that they don't regularly run off screen with how much space they have to be on screen.
There's actually a lot of problems in this mode, which will start coming up as I get it up with some of the more aggressive enemies, where that flame move that the White Ranger does will happen on the wrong side of the enemy, because the game just can't handle the sheer size of what's happening. So my attacks will miss because I'm doing them on the wrong side of them. Like, I couldn't even tell he was dodging there. I wasn't sure why that attack was missing. There we go. Yeah, this game, unlike the other one, which is primarily from the show, is all over the place. Oh, that's a great example of my inability to hit enemies because they're too close. There we go.
Also, I love the Skolda meme, or since I don't know anything, I call it meme because it just always appears. You deal like 1 or 2 hits, him being far from even losing much health, and then he runs away again.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute jerk. That's one of the things that, like, once you get used to him, it's not so bad, but casually playing it, especially for the first time, a lot of the putty patrol will just show up, hit you in the face, disappear, and it's just brutal. It's real disheartening.
And we have a $10 donation from Lacebeat saying, "Ha, jquestionmark, go Power Rangers." Thank you very much for the donation. If you have any incentive you want to give that money to, just hit me or one of the Valkyries with a DM or in chat. I will see. I don't think I missed it yet.
Yeah, for better or worse, a lot of this run is spent optimizing perfect placement to hit enemies. Well, a lot of the real run, this is quite outside of the ordinary. There we go. Yeah, the jaws of D, I want to say death. I might be misremembering. Destruction. Yeah, the problem with this game is, similar to the Black Ranger and the other one, there's absolutely no reason to use anyone other than the Green Ranger, or sorry, White Ranger.
Yeah, that fire sword is doing work.
Yeah, the only things that can compare to it, one of the community members, I believe the person who moderates the Speedrun.com board, actually put in some time and did the math on how much each attack does. And there are things that actually can do more, which is pretty cool, but oh, there's a great example of where things get problematic with enemies standing too close. Yeah, there are things that can do more damage, but I need to stop doing that. They're incredibly hard to hit with, especially with the multiple hits of them. This one, as soon as a single instance of it hits, it does the full damage, and if it fails to hit, each possible hit in the combo does chip damage. So whether they block or you're able to fight them, I'm not going to say fair, but actually get the hit in, you can dish out just insane damage, whereas most of the other moves, the combo never manages to get off the ground. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so we're well into enemies that like to get up in my face, so I move with my miss with my move. Yeah, this, I don't know how this became a game mode. Thanks to whatever developer thought this was a good idea to keep in the final build, because it's hilarious. There we go. Now we start getting to the actual mean AI. There we go.
Someone in chat is asking if you've played X-Men Mutant Apocalypse.
I have not. There's, I believe, I want to say there's 3 X-Men games on the Game Gear. And I plan on eventually learning the runs for the other ones. But, yeah, I haven't had a chance to start on them yet. I just finished up with school, so... Yeah, I do love stuff like this. I like the ridiculous fighting games. I like the Game Gear titles in general. I find there's a lot of really cool stuff out there that gets totally forgotten. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the name of this sword.
Oh, a Mutant Apocalypse is apparently possessing, yes.
Oh, okay.
But the question was more like the game type in general also.
I've seen, I think, a run or two of Mutant Apocalypse. I really liked, what was it, X-Men 2 Clone Wars on the Genesis. There we go. Gotta love that slowdown from the poor Game Gear trying to process those giant sprites. Yeah, no, I don't remember why they go to the moon. And then I love that you beat the boss and immediately you're treated with a cutscene of you getting the heck punched out of you.
Because obviously everything is more epic on the moon. General 19th logic.
It's impossible to show off in large mode, but on the moon, the jump physics are kind of absurd. You jump insanely high. Alright, so that is Power Rangers the movie large mode. I hope everyone enjoyed that, because it's pretty ridiculous.
GG, great run. Definitely something great to show off. As a bonus.
Yeah, it's a real quick run. The proper run for it, I think takes right around 10 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. Even when you're just learning, 15 minutes is pretty generous. So definitely recommend, if people out there want a real quick speed game that's a lot of fun, Power Rangers the movie is an excellent choice, and the regular Power Rangers is a ton of fun as well. Yeah, this game is a lot shorter. You get to choose your Ranger. You don't get any choice of Zord, which I think is a little sad. Honestly, the Dragon Zord's really rough to use, and the Mega Dragon Zord is a little weird, has some really cool moves in the regular Power Rangers game, but in this one, sadly, you get what you get, and there's no reason to ever use anyone other than White Ranger, so that's a thing. Alright, but I suppose we should probably move on to Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe.
Yeah, I'll just quickly
Yeah.
say what we are doing. So yeah, this is Speedrun Ragnarok. We are doing a charity marathon to support Texas. Texas' main mission is to inform the gaming community about mental health issues, provide education and different disorders and coping techniques, and reduce the overall stigma around mental illness. This helps people in the gaming community suffering from mental illness by letting them know that they are not alone in their struggles and there are treatment options out there to help. Texas provides education on mental illness so that friends, family members, and co-workers can be better allies to those who are suffering. So as you might have seen, our original donation goal was 1,500, and even the second one of 3,000 we smashed really quickly after almost 24 hours only. So we raised our goal to $10,000, which is equivalent to one of the so-called the cost for one of the so-called AFK rooms that Texas puts up at several locations. Like usually they go to, for example, conventions like PAX and so on. And yeah, AFK rooms provide convention attendees with a professional staff safe space where they can regain their calm and talk to a clinician if need be. They are open to anyone who needs them, usually during the main event hours. So it's a really great thing to have, definitely. I forgot, but I remember that some of our works also really had great experience with it. And yeah, that's what we have come together for this week. All right.
Yeah, I usually volunteer out at PAX West and help out there, and it's always really nice to see the Take This folks. And it's a really intense experience, so it's really fantastic that they're there for the people that need to take a minute, get away from all the noise and stuff going on, and just wind down for a second somewhere quiet and calm. They really are doing excellent things and making it possible for a lot of folks that would otherwise probably have a hard time making it through some of these big conventions.
Yeah, and also to mention, in terms of incentives, after this run, we have Child of Light with a bit about dress colors. Let me quickly... For which no one has actually chosen anything yet, and we have 3 awesome palettes for which you can choose. You can snipe it with whichever amount you want to at the moment. That's definitely a great thing to look out for.
Alright, well, are we ready to get this run rolling?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good on time.
Cool. This one, I apologize in advance because the random element of how fast is this going to be is pretty strong. I haven't cracked the RNG yet to figure out how many encounters I am or am not going to get. And combined with that, a lot of the areas, especially areas with potentially huge time losses, I have to be very, very, very precise. So there's a good chance I'll be way underestimate. There's a good chance I'll be right up against it. I don't know, flip a coin, but we'll hope for the best here.
What would be speedrunning without RNG?
Right. Alright, and away we go. So we'll start out with a nice black screen and some text. The bad guys have stolen the golden axe. It's not good. So as you can see, if you were watching the preview previously, things are already looking very different. We've got a very Dragon Warrior-y looking game going on. I like how I just walk up to the king. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. So we're here in the castle of Firewood. We're gonna voyage out into the wild, crazy world, and we're already in an encounter, and that's very discouraging, to be honest. In a perfect world, I make it from the castle to the cave with no encounters, And we're already 2 in, so, you know, it's going good. Yeah, the number of enemy encounters is the only RNG. How they behave is entirely deterministic. Same goes for enemies inside of the dungeons, as it were. So we make this nice, fun little shift from, oh geez, top-down RPG to basically another fighting game. Oh, Cosmotic, if you played this game, I'm sure you're just so full of so many different types of memories right now. This is insane. I haven't had this many encounters on the way to the cave, I think, ever. Yeah, do you like how my name is Axe Battler and I use a sword? Don't worry, I'll only ever use a sword. Yeah, this is the Zelda 2 Golden Axe knockoff. There's also a Zelda 1 Golden Axe knockoff. If you're into that, Golden Axe Warrior. So the dungeons are, as I mentioned previously, 100% deterministic. So everything that happens in here is going to happen exactly the same way if I behave exactly the same way. Yeah, it looks very, very Dragon Warrior until you get going. Then you get in a fight, and it's got a real fighting game feel. And then you get in a dungeon, and all of a sudden, got a kind of ActRaiser thing going on. Yeah, so the bomb, if I had actually bothered to talk to anyone, but it's an RPG speedrun, sort of, so we're not going to talk to people. That's just silly. There is a town to the east that is surrounded by mountains that we are coming up on right now. So of course, the only way into this town, we're just gonna take the hit, is to huck a bomb at the mountain while facing the other direction, just blow it up. Because cool guys never look at explosions. And because it's kind of an RPG, there are training dojos where you can learn new powers. But apparently, learning new powers means beating the heck out of some neo-bars, or barbarians, if you will. Now I can jump super high. It's totally useless in normal combat, but 100% required to get anywhere, so... whatever.
I love the fact that you are basically just using the sword because it's longer than any other weapon. So whatever other weapons and other enemies are using, they're just useless.
Oh, yeah, it's... The hitboxes are all perfectly designed so that I can get the drop on them always, every time. Yeah, so the people in the town, who I once again didn't bother to talk to any of them, are actually very excited I blew up that mountain, because they've been trapped there for, it's not said how long. I would assume long enough. As an added bonus, that's the city of Firewood, which doesn't make any sense because the castle's way across a river and, you know, not in the circle of mountains. So we've achieved our first useful move. This move is kind of terrible. The range is a little bit longer than your normal attack, but you can only use it while crouching, and it does 2 damage, so it helps speed up fights. But also, you have to crouch to do it, so you basically need to stop moving, make yourself vulnerable. But as an added bonus, fights go a lot faster. They've been trapped in that ring of mountains forever. They may have never heard of digging or explosives. So now, if I had bothered to talk to anyone inside the town, there are some monsters in the town called chicken legs, which I will be fighting some of later, and they're kind of implied to be livestock in that town. But there's one that, weirdly enough, can talk and informs me I need to get the crystal from the Peninsula Tower. So I'm here to do that. But mostly get wrecked by ghosts. You're supposed to take out most of those ghosts to spawn that elevator, but if you jump, it spawns all on its own, because the game sees that there's few enough ghosts that you probably did it, right? So my health is really good. This is one of those... Speedrunning this involves a lot of... Oh geez, that's not what I was looking for. A lot of making decisions on whether or not it's a good idea to use continue abuse or to stick with the number of faces that you have. Oh, so your ability to cast magic in this game, which I almost never use, and your currency for staying in inns are magic faces that you get from defeating enemies. Weirdly enough, every single barbarian in the world always carries one magic vase. Apparently it's plural. Yeah, one magic vase is for Amazons. It's a weird world. I don't know what to say.
You shall never question game logic.
Yeah, I don't think super hard about it. Amusingly, you need at least 2 vases to cast a spell, so all of them, the barbarians and the Amazons out there, could never even cast any magic. Not that any enemies in this do. Oh, once again, I didn't bother to talk to anyone, so the people in that town would have told me how it's called Turtle Village, because once long ago, their ancestors came across the sea on a giant turtle, apparently. Because that's a thing. I don't really care what anyone has to say, it's the RPG speedrun. But, yeah, the critter that mentions the crystal is the key to making my way across. So I throw the crystal into the water and the turtle shows up. I still have the crystal in my inventory though. Maybe he brought it back up for me. I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. I try not to worry about it too hard. Skeletons are jerks. But now we have jump swing. Jump swing, once again, similar to the upper swing, is only useful at really specific times. It honestly sees the most use much later in the run. Gosh, I'm all over the place here. Alright, hopefully healing there was worth it. So we're entering into the Desert of Death from the town of San Marrow. The Desert of Death seems to have one of the highest encounter rates in the game. So, you know, my bad encounter luck already on top of this is just going to make for a real good time. Have those hitboxes look like they did not intersect and I was cheating? Basically. The hitboxes are a little weird for some of these encounters. And it's very, very important that you take advantage of it, because otherwise you will get destroyed. By this guy, for example. Oh, jeez. Apology. Yeah, well, the whole world's pretty bad. I mean, it's just barbarians and Amazons and literal walking skeletons everywhere.
I mean, one village is in between mountains, some other villages are basically in the desert. It doesn't sound that well placed.
Yeah, no one made any good choices when settling these places.
Oh yeah, right, between mountain and ocean. And ocean is also a problem if you don't have ships. Which apparently we don't, because we need a turtle to travel through the water.
So here we come across this pyramid. If you were playing the game for the first time, it doesn't indicate that you're supposed to do this, ever. So we're just going to ignore that whole thing. There's an enemy that we only encounter in there. There's 2 different enemies we only encounter in there, and we're just never even going to see them. That's fine. No biggie. And now we're going to just try to blast our way through encounters, hopefully before my health runs out and I get to the next town. So as soon as you enter a town, it becomes your respawn point, as it were. So in a perfect world, you always have just the right amount of, there we go, health to make it to the next town. Yeah, we can stop at the end, no problem.
So battles end either if you kill the enemy or if you take damage?
Yeah, if you take a single hit, even though you have 6 HP, I guess you have 3 HP, every single hit takes a half of 1. If you take a single hit, the fight is over. Otherwise, you have to wear the enemy down all the way, and that becomes especially notable with some of the enemies later on that have huge chunks of health. You have to do attacks that do 2 damage or spend forever fighting them. This is a great example. These guys will rush and charge you, and they are mean.
Oh, also, I hope I didn't miss it for too long. Thanks for the $7.77 donation from Scala for the light dress of Child of Light.
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much.
So we just gotta move with slightly better range than the upper swing, and I don't have to crouch to do it. So life has just gotten way better. Theoretically, this game can be played through with just high jump. I don't ever want to do that. Ever, ever, ever. Oh yeah, the bad bra. They're great. I'm curious what the bra is meant to be short for. Like, is it meant to be bro or bra? I don't know. So the encounters in this I have done a million times and generally go fine unless I get really cocky. The dungeons in this tend to involve a lot of really, really precise timing, and it's really easy to get completely wrecked, even for all the times I have done runs of this. Like that. That's not what you want to see. Or that. That's okay. Fortunately, we're significantly faster than arrows, I guess. I try not to think too hard about how things work in this world. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. We're in a tight spot. So I have to get all the way to the next town, or I will go back to the previous town from here. So no pressure or anything. I can take 2 hits and I'm toast. Cool. Nights are great, because they'll just do this, which just absolutely makes my day. You can only be hit by a knight if you walk into it. It's pretty wonderful. Also, apologies, because I jump every fight. It's a weird nervous tick. I did it when I was a kid. I do it now that I speedrun it. It's one of those... I can do an input, so I'm gonna do an input. Oh, the base spells? Yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning. I don't know if this is gonna come through at 60 FPS. The base spells are very potentially seizure warning. I'll try to give a heads up when I'm going to be doing future ones. I apologize, I completely forgot to do on those ones, because they are pretty rough on the eyes, and I should be using at least a couple more before the run's over. So, sorry about that. That's my bad. So in this town, we grab ourselves a compass and the other required combat skill in the game by fighting a knight, which seems like cheating, because once again, huge pushover. Also, RPG Mel, shame on you for that pun. Wow. Wow. Alright, so coming up is an area that there's a not terrible chance of me dying in. Everything's really precise. There are enemies that deal 2 damage. Everything just tries to... Oh. And I'm going in with one hit down. That's good. So bats just drop from the sky. Wolves leap at ya. These guys come down. These enemies that just wander up real quick deal 2 damage. Basically everything in this forest is bad. From a casual perspective, if you don't bother to talk to every single person in town, you won't get the compass, so you'll go through this agonizing forest, and it will set you back on the bridge and tell you that you've lost your way, because it is the maze forest. Also, someone mentioned that these knights look like Master Chief, and yeah, I'm definitely seeing it now. It had not occurred to me before. Alright, so we get the same impressive music for the fruit as we do for the bomb, because the fruit's very important. Believe it or not, the fruit is incredibly important, but yeah. because I've been to the town previously, I can hopefully... Yep. Fights almost always trigger on bridges. Warp back to the town by taking a continue here. Just a little speed tech thing in the game. To optimize dialogue, I have to hold down on 2 and mash 1, because the dialogue will only scroll faster if you're holding a button, and it will only advance if you hit a button. Fortunately, the Power Rangers runs have me hitting 2 and 1 at the same time all the time, so my hand is in the exact same position. It's wonderful. Yeah, this is a terrible world.
So is it actually possible for you to level up or get some health or better armor, or do you just have to go through and see how your enemies get stronger and stronger?
Yeah, the enemies get stronger and stronger, so there's an item in the final area, which we're coming up on,